West Austin is one of the most desirable parts of the city. I mean, breathtaking views, high-end real estate, excellent schools, but is it the right one for you? Today in this video, we're going to cover the pros and cons, all the good and the bad about living in West Austin so you can make the best choice for you. Hi, my name is Nicole Cooper. My team and I get calls and emails from people just like you needing help moving in and around Austin, Texas, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're looking to move today, tomorrow, or somewhere in between, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email because we're always available to help you find the perfect home that matches your lifestyle. Now, what is West Austin? I mean, we've got to give it some boundaries. We're talking from Mopac out to Lakeway, the section in between there, north and south of the lake. We are going to exclude Westlake Hills and Rollingwood because they are their own cities and I have a separate video of their own. But we're going to cover like Chester, River Place, Steiner, the Cuernavaca area. We're going to cover Lake Hills. So I'm going to give you what to expect for real estate, what type of homes you can expect, what high schools they feed into, and just the general great things about each neighborhood and each area, and then the things that kind of aren't so great about each area so you can make the best decision. Here, let's get started right now. So let's dive into the map so I can show you exactly where we are. First of all, here is downtown Austin right here. And here is Mopac, our Loop 1, where I said was going to be our eastern boundary. This is Steiner Ranch right here. This is kind of the Cuernavaca and Lake Hills area, and then we're going to stop right out here at Lake Point. So we're making a big circle like this. And that's going to be our western boundary portions for today. That's the areas we're going to talk about. Here is the Colorado River that splits it in two. Remember, I said we were going to talk about the north and south side of the river because values are different up here than they are down here. By and large, values are a little bit higher on this bottom portion, and it's mainly just because it's easier to get to. It's easier to get to town from this side than from this northern portion. You have to go a little bit longer route. And then if I clear these markings out, you can see this topographical map at how there is a lot of beautiful rolling hill country and topography out there. Take a look at this. So this is over the Colorado River at the Pennybacker Bridge, where this is Highway 360 right here that's going around the west side of town, and that's the Colorado River, or Lake Austin as it's called in that portion there. Austin Country Club is this golf course you see down here on the bottom right now. And the top of the map would be to the north. So you can see all the beautiful rolling terrain, the houses. This is commercial property up there built with some of the best views in town. But you can see how it just has a lot of elevation and undulation out in the west side of town. And the whole area we're talking about today will have those opportunities to have those big panoramic views. We're gonna have some lakefront properties out here. We're gonna have some golf front properties out in this area. Lots of different pretty vistas to be able to look out on. In addition to the natural beauty, there are a lot of trails and hiking areas you can hit out there. This one's just one example, Turkey Creek Trailhead. Most of the trails are going to be in these creek bottoms. They'll have a lot of limestone rock. There usually is no water in these trails in the summer, but if you catch them at the right time of year, take your best friends down there for a little walk or a run, they can get in the water in the spring and the fall when we have more rain. But this is pretty typical landscape out in any of our trails in the West Austin kind of part of town. Another hot spot at the tip of Steiner Ranch, we've got the Lake Austin Spa, just a tip-top luxury high-end wellness spa. Little quick user tip, if you go there first thing in the morning for a massage, you can stay there all day and hang out at the pool and stuff, so you can use that for your kind of your entry fee for the day. So as these properties are kind of going all along the lake, anytime you have a lakefront property, you're gonna have a higher price tag all along this river or lake. You know, we have 3 names for everything in this town. Colorado River, Lady Bird Lake, Town Lake, Lake Austin. Depends which portion of the lake that you're on as to what it's called. So up here where it starts, this is Lake Travis. Then we have a dam right here, Mansfield Dam. Then that turns into Lake Austin. And Lake Austin goes all the way until we get to another dam over at Redbud Isle, and then it turns into Town Lake or Lady Bird Lake and goes right through downtown Austin. And the whole while, it's still the Colorado River. So that's what I mean about having multiple names for the same thing. All right, the second pro of living in the area is just the beautiful real estate. So what I have here, I'm gonna show you examples of what the average close price is in each area. So I have 4 examples for you. They're all above $1 million because that's what the properties on average sell for out there. But I have 4 different examples from the different parts of West Austin. So let's take a look. So first of all, to get your bearings, here's downtown Austin right here. And then we're gonna go up here into this first portion called Northwest Hills. And the average close price in Northwest Hills is $1,250,000. So I got this property, this listing right here. It's listed for $1,275,000. So I figured that was close enough to our average close price. It's 4,378 square feet and 555. So it was built in 1991, and this view right here, that's very typical of what you will find in Northwest Hills. You're gonna have a lot of multi-level homes in Northwest Hills, and being a 1991 construction, this has probably been updated at some point, but it may need, you know, if you want it on today's modern trends of the Pottery Barn and Joanna Gaines, add a little farmhouse style in there, you might want to do a little updating in this one. But multi-level homes are the norm in Northwest Austin, and this is an average home that you can get for $1.5 million. The next section, we're gonna jump over from this. This is where we just were in Northwest Hills. This is the 360 highway here. We're gonna jump over here into the Jester Estates and River Place area and take an example from over here. And in the Jester, River Place to Green Shores area, which would be down here, the average close price is $1,300,000. So here's our average property, or average sale price property. It's in River Place neighborhood exactly, listed for just under $1.3 million, 4,332 square feet, and built in 2001. So a little bit bigger yard out here, still a lot of rolling terrain in River Place. I mean, the main road that goes through it is called Big View. So you can tell that there will be a lot of very big panoramic views in this neighborhood. Here's a view of the kitchen. Has a few designer colors in here, but that's pretty much a sign of the times for when it was constructed. And here's another view of the kind of the big patio area out back to the yard. And from this one, you can even have a little glimpse of the golf course down below. So that's gonna pump that value up a little bit as well. Okay, so we started over here in Northwest Hills, then we took one over here in River Place. Now we're gonna jump over here into Steiner Ranch and show you one in there. Steiner Ranch, I took it as its own neighborhood because it's 4,600 acres. So it's a big, big, big community. And on average in Steiner, the average close price is right at $1 million. And here we have an example at just over $1 million. $1,050,000. It's 3,075 square feet and built in 2008. So also, in addition to Steiner being a little bit bigger, it is a little bit newer. It was built out of the neighborhoods we looked so far. It was built more recently, and as you go further from town, that's generally the case for Austin real estate. You'll see a lot of these turrets in Steiner Ranch. A lot of views out there as well. Here's one of the nice views off the patio over the panoramic kind of green space there. And then here are the views of the backyard. You can see kind of that rolling terrain going downhill, but that allows you to have those beautiful scenery views over the over the green space. All right, we're heading to our fourth property, but here's where we've been: Northwest Hills, then we went to River Place, then we went to Steiner Ranch, and now we're hopping onto the south side of the river, and we're gonna go into Austin Lake Estates, and I'm gonna show you one on that side of the river. Generally, they're a little bit more expensive down there. It's a little bit easier access to town, a lot closer to town, because you can pop straight in on D Caves Road. The other areas you have to kind of circumvent out west and come in. Nonetheless, the average close price out in this part of town is $1,500,000. So I picked this property here to show you that's pretty close to our average at $1,590,000, 3,648 square feet. This one's much newer, built in 2020. You can see the difference in the roof lines on these newer construction. The modern developers are really trying to create a lot of texture and different levels off of that front facade there. And this is the Texas farmhouse look here with those exposed beams, and then you've got the natural or the wood texture in the kitchen as well. And here at this location in particular, it's a nice flat lot, but there is a lot of rolling terrain in this area as well. Those would be our 4 examples of just what to expect in types of houses, the types of terrain that's out there. It's all beautiful rolling hill country, and some views are bigger than others. The bigger the view, the bigger the price. The third pro for West Austin is the outdoor activities. I mean, you have the lake running, or the river, whatever we want to call it at the moment, running right through the middle of it. So depending on where you live, you could have access to a deep water marina out in Lake Travis. You could have access to a boat slip on Lake Austin, or switch, vice versa. You could do either. There's parks all along, like Tom Hughes Park. There's the city park. So I'm going to show you a picture of Tom Hughes Park. And then the hiking trails all around. River Place has hiking trails. West of 360 has hiking trails. We have creek trails, creek bed trails. We have rock walls that you can climb. I mean, it's just outdoor activities are just limitless in West Austin. Let's look at this Tom Hughes Park. Well, here we are at Tom Hughes Park. It is on the deep portion of Lake Travis, and you kind of have to scale some rocks to get down to the bottom where you go swimming, but it's definitely worth it. And these are the rocks I was talking about that you have to scale to get down there. But it's a beautiful park. Our next place we're gonna check out a little bit closer to town. It's right by 360, Ski Shores Cafe. It's been out there for a long time, and what a place. The regulars go out there. I've been to a wedding there. I think this might be, they were setting up for something a little nicer. It's just pub food, but man, it's right on the lake, and it is so much fun. People pull up, you can just dock in your boat anytime and have lunch or a cold beer and then get back out on the water. Of course, not if you're driving. You can get back out on the water. So these lake options are available all up and down the river, all throughout West Austin. And the second half of my pro number 3 for outdoor activities is the golf. West Austin is the land of all the golf courses. All the beautiful golf courses are in the West Austin, Austin Country Club being number 1. So let's have a look. I'll show you where they are. So this is our area out here we've been talking about all day so far. Austin Country Club is right here where they had the Dell Match Play tournaments. You have River Place Country Club, which is right in the middle of River Place neighborhood, no surprise. But look at these big rolling hills out there. It's a Pete Dye design. You know, you have a lot of blind shots, a lot of dog legs, but the scenery's pretty, so take a lot of balls if you play River Place. Up next, we have the UT Club in Steiner Ranch. You know, I'm kind of biased. I graduated from UT, played golf on the team there, so of course the UT Club is my favorite one. Great pro shop. This is the entry from the front there. This is out the back. The clubhouse would be just to the left, and you're looking out towards 18 green there. Huge finishing hole, big par 4, long hole, water all up and down the left side and all around the green there. And the putting green is super hard to putt as well. So hopefully you're up by a couple of shots coming into 18. This is the dining room inside, and this is hole 15, I think. Anyway, this Longhorn's on the back, and then you can see way in the distance the lake back there. It's a par 4, short par 4 that hits up into this one, so you can definitely make birdie there if you hit it kind of close to the pin, because again, the green is tough putting. So that's the UT Club. So again, these red marks are the golf courses, and this is all the west side. We've got, of course, Barton Creek out here on the west side, Westlake Country Club also, and then further out west, this could almost be classified as Lakeway. It's kind of on the fringe between Austin and Lakeway, and that's Spanish Oaks. All of these clubs mentioned are private, so if you want to be a member, you're going to have to get in line, get on the waiting list, and pay your initiation fee and get there. But they're all very good. They have videos on the golf courses exclusively if you want more information, or hey, even better, comment below, ask me whatever you need to know. I've played them all, I know them all, I can help. The last pro for living in West Austin is the school system. All the high schools that this whole area feeds into, and there's 4 of them, they all get A's on texasschools.gov. I'll show you the exact grades as we jump in. Part of it goes to Westlake, McCallum, Anderson, and Vandergrift. So I'll show you where they are on the map and what grades they get. The purple lines are our school boundaries. This is the Mopac or Loop 1 that it was our eastern boundary for today's video. And then here is the river, lake, that goes right through the middle of everything. So this section here, this purple section out here that Steiner Ranch and River Place feed into, that's Vandergrift High School. And Vandergrift, as you can see here, gets a 93 out of 100. They have a total enrollment over 2,700 students. This is their diversity graph here, and that puts them just under 17 students a teacher. Our next section, this section over here, this northern section up here, this is actually going to feed into Anderson High. And Anderson High gets a 90 out of 100. Their total enrollment is almost 2,230 students. Here's our diversity graph in the middle there, and it's about 17.5 students per teacher. The next portion, if you can see this purple boundary here, that feeds into McCallum High right here. McCallum gets a 93 out of 100. Total enrollment just over 1,800 students. Diversity graph here in the middle puts it around 17 students a teacher. And lastly, this portion down here that feeds to Westlake, this is the Eanes ISD. It is the most sought after school district in Austin, if not in the entire state of Texas. And parents move into this area just to get their kids into the Eanes ISD. And this is why. A whopping 98 out of 100. It's a heck of a school system. Not only do they make good grades on this texasschools.gov, they have great sports, band, music, art, cinema, drama, the whole works. They have just over 2,800 students. Here's a diversity graph here, puts it just over 14 students a teacher. So while they all get A's, people will claw, scratch, and fight to get into the Eanes ISD, into that Westlake High School, where they get a 98 out of 100. Almost a perfect score. So no matter where you live in West Austin, schools are good, some are great. So that's the good stuff. What's the bad part? I mean, it can't be all sunshine and unicorns, right? So the cons for living in West Austin, the main one, number one, is the high cost of living. I mean, goodness gravy, it's all over $1 million on average close price. So that makes it a hard entry, a hard barrier to get over if you're just trying to get an average home in Austin. In addition to the home prices, you know, all the kind of ancillary service industry is going to be a little bit inflated as well, because say when the landscaper comes to your house, he's going to know how much your home is worth, so he might increase his little bids a little bit higher. Same with the window washers and everything else that revolve around the real estate. So just expect your cost of living to be just a tick higher than if you were living maybe on the east side of Austin. The second con about living in West Austin is some of it is a tough commute if you have to come into Austin, or even sometimes to the schools. Some of the schools are a bit farther than others. If you're, for example, living in Steiner Ranch and you're living way deep into the neighborhood, there's only one way in and one way out. So during heavy traffic times, the commute can be almost unbearable. I don't know, unless you're coming from Chicago, New York, something like that, then you won't even notice. But I challenge you to just go and try it yourself. If you're gonna have to make a commute more than 3 or 4 days a week, you wanna just go test it out at those heavy traffic times to make sure it's not too bad for you. The third con, there's no public transportation in West Austin. And I mean none. There's no bus, no train, no any kind of subway or anything like that. Now you can always get the Ubers and taxis and Lyfts to come and get you, but you can't rely on public transportation if you're living out in West Austin. And the last con is the wildlife out there. It can kind of wreak havoc on the cars, meaning sometimes you might hit a deer in the middle of the road. Now, I would say wildlife is a pro as well because it's so fun to have deer in your backyard. There's deer and turkeys, lots of road runners. I mean, Westlake High School or the Chaparrals, that's the name for a road runner. And there's coyotes and things. So I, for one, love animals and I think that that's a pro. However, when they jump into your yard and eat all your flowers and all of your garden, that's not cool. And additionally, if you ever hit one of those sweet little deer, it makes you feel sad for days. I can speak from personal experience on that. So anyway, that is a con if you're living in the area. There are just so many deer. You do have a higher accident rate with them. So that's a wrap. I invite you to comment below. Let me know what questions you have and what other information you want to know about the area because we have it all. I couldn't possibly tell you every little detail in one video, but I do know each little neighborhood inside and out and would love to help you find out if it's the best one for you. So whether you're looking to move right now or somewhere in the future, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email because we're always available to help you find the perfect home that matches your lifestyle. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others, and I look forward to seeing you.